Hey everyone. Hey, welcome. Namaste. It's good to see you this morning. Welcome, everyone. Oh my God, it's so nice to be back. Yay. Ah, I felt like I was a stranger to my space and having the facility to transmit. It's so great to be back home. That was a huge project that I took on. I didn't remember it being so overwhelming, but I'm happy to be back. And I'm glad I got that big project done. Jennifer Hadley she's been coming by and staying with us, on and off for about 4 years on her way up there. She goes from Vermont. She travels through the southern part of Maine and then goes up into her place, which is about 4.5 hours drive north of here. And she was telling me for all those years that she couldn't find a builder to do these window leak problems to fix them. And I came up with a plan for about 3 years ago. And I said, well, if you take those badly made windows that I used to install hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Pella windows. So I knew the product was had a manufacturing failure in the mid 80s. I said, if you just take those windows out, put new windows in, put skylights in, and get rid of that problem. She couldn't find a builder to do it. And then last December, she was here. I said, I'll do it. And I wasn't thinking how cold it is in Maine in November. Oh my God. I was out there at 6 o'clock yesterday morning to finish the project. It was 20 degrees. It was so, it was like, oh, anyway, it's over. And I'm happy to be here, back home with Lisa, and came in last night about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I'm super happy to be back with you this morning, and we'll share in this meditation. And the number one thing is to keep coming back to the experience of awareness, and not to re-identify yourself from Bill or from Karen or from Barbara or David or Monica or whomever's watching on YouTube. Not to re-identify yourself. Okay, now I'm awareness, because you're just moving that over into another chair of identity. So it's the formless, what we're looking for, and it's not really a looking, it's just moving our attention to. It's that simple. It's so simple that we miss it, but it's just, we have the ability, we have access in consciousness to move our attention to the formless presence, to I am, to bringing our attention to what is it without naming it. What is it that is aware of this experience? What's aware of that? It's not, it doesn't have a name, and it doesn't have an object. It can't be objectified. It's just that you know the you that you are is not a body. You know that you exist. You know this. You just, and it's not really understandable by the mind, because the mind is an activity of what you are. So it's a subset of your true being. It's the activity. The mind is the activity and the movement of consciousness. You are consciousness. You are you. And you're never not you. you ask the question, am I me? And this isn't a personal self identity me. Do I exist? Yes, I exist. And that I is the I principle of I am. It's where consciousness, the infinite presence, moves into time and space as you. And consciousness, it when you look for you, you can't find you, you just are you. It's like the sun can't shine on itself, but it's still the sun. And this is you. If I ask you, am I aware of this experience? The answer for all of us is yes. And it's the same awareness, and it's formless, it's timeless, it's eternal and infinite. And if you close your eyes and you just think of the two words, am, I am. For most of us, it takes us right to this direct experience of being. I am. I am me. I am me. And this me doesn't have a name. You can say I am me, and you're the same me that was you when you were 3 months old, when you were a me then, hasn't changed. You're the same me. And this is in the early child development, 1 year old, or whenever you start to see the blurry images of your parents or the doctors, if you can remember back that far, you are that me consciousness that doesn't know its name. It doesn't know its gender. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't have labels for anything that moves. And you, beloved, are still that primordial me. And in terms of each of us, we are all that same me. Since that first remembering, since that first recognition of experience, the only thing that's changed is you've been layered on conditions. You were given a name. Your mommy and daddy were given names, or whatever names they were given. You were given a gender. You're a girl. You're a boy. Those are all add-on names, labels. If you take all of those away, all of those names and labels, you're still that primordial I am that was somehow born in a physical body and illuminated by you. That illumination, that enlivening is your true self. You could call it, you are this spirit. You are the enlivening light of pure being. This is you. This is your eternal self. This is the thing that was never born. It comes into a body, seemingly, into time and space, into the experience of birthing, of being conceived, of the biological experience of conception, and you came into that biological experience of conception. You, the I am of you, enlivened that experience, that miraculous biological experience where you, consciousness, came into time and space. In the beginning was the word, the vibrational frequency of you, and the word, the vibrational frequency of consciousness, became flesh and dwelt among us for a while. In the Bible, they think that was Jesus, and it was, but it was also you. It was also every creature, every animal, every insect, every molecule. When it comes into time and space, consciousness becomes flesh and it dwells among us for a while. And when we awaken, when we come to the recognition of our true nature, we go, oh my God, I'm not the body. I am free. I am still, it's that workbook lesson 199. I am still as God created me. I am still as I am that I am. And God is not a separate thing that created you. You are God, consciousness that created itself as itself, and the vibrational frequency of you became flesh and dwells and embodies that image that you have made. It indwells and embodies the image of the person, and heaven and earth have become one as you. And we can sit with that for just a minute and just rest in it and be in gratitude that, oh my God, God became flesh as me, and here I am. And I can awaken to my true nature while I'm still in this bodysuit, while I'm still in this person experience. I can know the self and be free and really experience what was always intended, really experience what God always planned. You are not an accident. You are the consciousness of God. It was an intentional consciousness. You are you intentionally. God's infinite being. We are a reflection of God's infinite being. We are like the sun rays are to the sun. We are aspects of the one presence. I am. And we can plug into that simply by giving our attention to this soft presence, this gentle awareness that is prior to a label. It just floats in this isness of being. It doesn't have a mentation going on, although that may be happening. There may be thoughts that are going, what? And even doubt thoughts might rise. They happen, and you remain unchanged. You are untouched. by any physical experience, by any thoughts. You're still untouched. Thoughts come and they go, right? You see them come and go. Sounds, they come and they go. You're still the same. Sensations, there may be sensations on the body. They move, they change, they're here, they're not here, they're intense. We give them labels of, oh, that hurts. Ah, it we give different locations for it because we've identified this formless illumination, enlivening. We've identified it as this bodysuit. So we even locate the sensation, the impulse, and yet we are unchanged in the background of all of this experience. And we can give a story to the experience. We can call it, and it gets us closer to the eternal nature, just as we call it, resting in presence. Resting in presence is where we're just directing the mind just to be. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are peace. These characteristics, they resonate, right? The reason something resonates is because it holds true. Be still and know that you are love. Be still and know that you are presence. Be still and know. Rest in the peace of pure presence. Rest in the peace of God. There may be some old energy. I know there is for me sometimes when I say the words, be still and know that I am God. It sounds a little like blasphemy. And yet it's because in that nanosecond of saying it, the mind, even faster than a nanosecond, claims it and says, no, no, can't be. And that is pure arrogance. Just notice that. Notice that little bit of what is considered blasphemy. Be still and know that I am God. Is there any trigger there? If there is, just quietly notice it. Don't touch it. Allow the trigger to be if it's true for you. It sounds easier. It sounds more more logical, practical. I be still and know I am what God is, right? That feels like, oh, yeah, okay, I can accept that one. That one's more reasonable. And yet you are God. You are, and even if we change the name to consciousness, it gets easier, right? You are consciousness. That feels that feels more right. And it's because we've given God this label, and that's what the trigger is. It's not it's not the identity, it's the label, it's the baggage of the name God. And yet God has no name. You, beloved, you have no name. You are you. Are you still here? You are infinite presence, pure being, consciousness. I am. Jesus knew these things, and he is our way shower. He and the Buddha before him, and many other sages that I don't know. His presence is right here also, unchanged, not different than than yours. He is the same consciousness as you, as Buddha is, as Mother Mary, as Joseph, as all the great teachers, and all the the, the, the Jewish lineage of Moses and Abraham. Their consciousness is this one consciousness, this one I am, different labels after conception, different cultures. I rest in God as I rest in consciousness. I rest in pure being. In quiet, we receive God's word today. Love that workbook lesson. I think it's 124. In quiet, we connect with the vibrational frequency of God, of Abraham, of Jesus, of Buddha, Nisargadatta, Maharaj, Ramana, Mother Mary, Joan of Arc, and all beings. Now, see if this one has a trigger. Hitler, Putin, Trump, Biden. They're all us. They're all us. Oh my God. Uh, you are you. You are pure presence. This is home. We have an ability to leave time and space, identity, and move our attention to our true nature, awareness. If you have time, if you take the time to wake up in the morning when you have your coffee or before, and you sit quietly, just being aware, just being aware. Let the thoughts of, the busyness of life, let it be welcome also. You're not trying to reach a state. Just allow everything to be exactly as it is. Let the thoughts come in. Oh, I got to do this today. I got to do that. I got to do this. Oh, I remembered that. And situations in your life, let them rise up. And if you can just for 5 minutes watch it like a like you're watching traffic go by, or like you're watching people walk by, you're at a mall, busy mall, you're sitting in a chair and just watching all the people, the different, only you're just the awareness. You're the you're the quiet presence that's watching the activity go by without touching it, without labeling. There's a prior to label you that's always on. There's a prior to labeling you that's there when the first sensation appears, before it gets a name, before it gets located. You are that primordial awareness. And if you can rest there in the morning, just quietly, before you turn the lights on, or maybe you've just got the lights dim, sit quietly and practice short moments of presence, short moments of awareness before your day begins. And if your eyes are closed, you can open them. And when you're sitting on your sofa or your favorite chair or the floor, wherever you are in these morning experiences, then after, do it with eyes closed and then with eyes open, and include everything in that experience. Allow the thoughts to be welcome, allow the objects to be welcome. You give it a soft gaze on when the eyes are open, you give it a soft gaze, and using a sort of a peripheral vision, everything is included at one time, all at once. There's not one thing labeled, everything is just there. All these physical form activities, they're all just there, and you're just allowing awareness to envelop everything, not giving attention to one particular thing and not leaving anything out. And you're practicing presence. And if you just do this when you can, when you have time, when you take the time, just do this for 5 minutes in the mornings, and it will begin to accumulate a new way of seeing, even with eyes open. Of course, if you want to go with a visceral experience like I do, I love to sit down. Sometimes 15 minutes goes by, and I keep my eyes closed, and it just feels so lovely, because we're plugging into presence. We're plugging into I am. And if eyes are open, you can still do the same thing, just resting in presence. I always put my hand on my heart, and it brings me directly to infinite presence. It has a way of resolving all matter of thoughts, feelings, experiences, concerns, worries, fear. You have a family member that's ill, or yourself, bring it into that space, that space of presence. Allow your crying to happen. enveloped by this awareness. If something is happening in the mind of the bodysuit, prepare yourself, prepare the sanctuary, prepare the altar of truth by bringing your attention to it first, and then welcome those experiences into that space of your I am presence. Let it rest with you there. Let it be welcomed there. Let it be resolved. And it exchanges itself to your natural self. It exchanges itself to joy and peace that passes understanding. This has been wonderful to spend this time with you, beloved. Thank you. Namaste.